I gotta teach you how to ride Zone 2. Hello, we did a video probably about this time last year that was called something like How to Ride Endurance
Zone 2. So we're going to cover 3 aspects. What is Zone 2?
I was looking back at it because that's what we do at our house. We just watch old vlogs. Yeah, definitely got the sort of premise of, you know, ride smoothly, you know, maintain the same power on the uphills and on the downhills, try not to ease up on that, don't blow yourself up on that. I think came across, which was good. But I think that video actually created more questions than answers because, yeah, when you're in a controlled environment, sure, that idea of riding smoothly is pretty obvious. Just maintain a number, all that kind of stuff. Places like Centennial Park, you know, fine. But when you move out of that environment, and there are so many variables, I'm talking about, you know, different terrain, you don't want to just go round and round and round in a circle. With all these variables, the reality is you're not going to be in this perfect block of a zone, and being militant about that is ridiculous. But instead, I suppose what I want to try and get across is this idea of just constant motion, and constantly being on the pedals is the benefit. And when I mean continuous motion, I mean from the off. So for me, that means changing up my route literally from the moment I leave the house. I don't go up near Darling Street, I go back streets the whole way.
Traffic lights are your enemy because it's all about continuous motion. Continuous motion. Look, Tyler did a great video the other week, I'll link it below, about how to ride endurance. Here's the thing, for him it's easy because he rolls out his door, he can ride endurance for 12 hours. Not only not see a traffic light, you can probably not see another human. Actually, maybe that's why he's vegan, which doesn't explain Jesse. Anyway, I'm off point. So what do? Back streets are fine when you're going uphill, so you kind of going slow. But it's the downhills when you're pedaling that things get a little bit sketchy. And that's one of the main reasons I love running like a colourful pair of shoes, colourful bar tape, and the colourful helmet. But we had to change that this year, didn't we? I always run when I'm by myself, super bright, 700 lumen plus front light, something that just gives that extra bit of visibility. Why are you shouting at me? Old mate could not have helped me more with my Segway there. How good was that? Yeah, so while we can be all happy clappy and say back streets are great, that's the obvious problem. You're running into cars. Which brings us on, thanks to old mate, to the much maligned bike path. So why is it maligned? Well, you know, as a road cyclist, racing cyclist, we kind of look at these shared path things as a waste of time, really, let's be honest. Can't go fast enough, too many obstacles, too dangerous. But let's look at it slightly differently. Obviously there's the benefit that this thing doesn't have vehicles on it, which is great. And as long as you just get in your heads that all you're really trying to do is just put some pressure on the pedal, you're not trying to bash out a threshold interval on here. Two biggest issues with the bike paths, especially in Sydney, is the obstacles. And number two, which is bigger, is continuity. This is where I'll get a little specific here. This river path one, Homebush, Parramatta, it's a great one for continuity. And I don't know, like, okay, this is the real hippie in me coming out now. I kind of get this weird sense of, it's not civic duty, I don't know what it is, but like, riding on bike paths, the local government area cycling groups and forums would be proud of you, using the infrastructure. But is tootling around a few cycle paths going to get you attacking off the bunch? No. Hell no. Which kind of brings me back to a point I wanted to mention earlier on.
Getting militant about this Zones 2 stuff ridiculous. Recipe for disaster. And I'm an example of that. I remember doing a video probably about this time last year. Did this really cool little Edelong loop. And I remember coming back and making a comment in the vlog like, I'm not sure what the point of that ride was.
You do kind of find yourself going, what's the point of this?
That is ridiculous. And like on top of that, there are guys, there are weapons out there who just don't believe in this type of training at all, and it works for them. They're way better riders than I'll ever be. Take all of this with a grain of salt. So then for me right now, where this fits in, for those playing at home, yeah, I kind of flared the knee up again down at 2 and under, had a little spill, and as always happens with these things, fell right on top of where it fell last time, so it kind of came back up. So yeah, that's where this fits in for me. Oh my God. It is disgustingly humid at the moment. Disgustingly. Now I'm acutely aware that I really need to talk to you about this at some point. But before I do... So this is what happens when I try and plan vlogs, right? So I had it all sort of perfectly segued. I was going to segue into this group ride and talk about, you know, zone 2 riding in a group. Only issue is... I completely stuffed up this morning. Long story short, we're about 40 minutes behind the group. You don't wait for someone who's 40 minutes late, right? So we're chasing. Yeah. All right, bus. We caught you. I'm handing over to you.
Thoughts on zone 2 in the bunch? It's definitely, if you're on the front, you sit above zone 2, so our lovely companions here can sit zone 2.
So neat. This is a slick operation. Interesting side note, little comment on freshness. Almost in my max heart rate there. Nowhere near our PBs, but goes to show what a bit of freshness can do. Woo. I haven't been up there since... Actually, you probably weren't born. Degrees or 95% humidity?
Oh, tough one. Nothing beats scoreless though.
Like a hairdryer in your face. For non-regular viewers, this is the bus. There's been some desperate calls lately. He's not been featuring heavily.
Just been riding my bike. Had a bit of a spill, so no nationals for me.
Beautiful, look at that. Oh yeah, it's fine. Kiri's going to jump on the slide. I kind of really wanted to show the just a few different elements to riding zone 2, you know, by yourself, on a bit of a harder ride, and then in a group ride, and like, that it's... I gotta go. You get the idea. See you later.